All right, welcome to Toronto's Creative Podcast. We talk to creative people in Toronto, share ideas to help each other out, and build a community. So we have a very special guest with us today, Geneva Lei. Am I pronouncing that right?
Geneva Lei.
Geneva Lei, perfect. So she's a singer and a songwriter, obviously from the Six. And she just dropped her new single, which is really cool. We're going to talk about all of that and all the other good stuff. So, Geneva, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I love podcasts.
Is this your first podcast?
No, it's not. I just love, being able to talk about my music. It's,
absolutely. Connecting with people.
Yeah, it's like a blessing to be able to even want to be talked to about my music. So.
Oh, that's great. No, we're grateful that you came. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about your musical background a little bit. Mm-hmm. How'd you get into music?
So I was singing since I was like a really young girl. Like I was the Filipino girl, in the Filipino parties, and like all the titas and titos, they wanted me to sing all the time, and they're like, sing, sample,
Is that like I don't want to sound like, is that a Filipino stereotype?
Where like to be karaoke?
Karaoke and singing?
I feel like it's not a stereotype if it's true.
I guess,
yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's safe to say all Filipinos do karaoke?
I mean, I feel like we love it. It's like a very bonding moment for us at parties. So I just think it's just a regular thing. Yeah.
No, I love it too. I love it. I'm not Filipino.
No, karaoke is really fun. I think it's just like a cool moment to just be silly with your friends.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes I sing in the shower, but karaoke would be a lot of fun because you have music in the background.
You can get drunk.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. But okay, so you were always singing when you were in, how old were you?
Since I was 6. Well, that's when I could remember. So ever since then, I was just always singing. And, my sister Tony, she was singing around the house all the time. And she was starting to play ukulele. And I wanted to start playing ukulele because of her. And then eventually, I learned how to play music on the ukulele and then be able to cover songs with it. And then I started making YouTube videos, and then I don't know, I just ended up falling in love with music. And
so how old were you when you made your first YouTube video?
I was like 8.
So is this still out there?
No.
Oh.
I made sure it was private so no one can find me.
Come on, we want to see this.
No.
Why'd you make it private? Now I don't know what's in it.
It's just funny because I thought I could sing, but I couldn't back then.
Okay. Well.
I feel like, who was it? Ed Sheeran. I saw a video of him where he had a clip of his old music or his old covers or anything, and he couldn't really sing either. And that was me. I couldn't sing when I was a kid. My vocal cords weren't developed, so it was not good.
Okay. Well, I really want to see the video now. But anyway, and then what happened? And then so you put out a video, and then?
And then from then on, I just was in love with performing, and even if it wasn't my music, I didn't really have music out until first year college. And then I was doing talent shows and local shows around Mississauga, and then I bumped into an artist named Zane Campbell. We met at an open mic in Mississauga, and he hits me up on Facebook, and he's like, hey, I have this album that's coming out and I would love to have your vocals on it. I'm like, oh, I've never recorded before. I was really shy, and I told him, I was like, well, I've never done it before. And he's like, it's okay, we'll get you warmed up in the studio. And I was like, okay. So I go, and actually the studio was this studio, this building. It was down the hall from here.
Shout out to 146.
Shout out to 146, because this is where it all started, and I'm so grateful for this building. There's a lot of memories that were built here with, me and my producer, and then the people that my producer connected me with and everything. Wow. And so we go to the studio, and my producer Tonks, Paul Tonks, he heard me sing, and he's like, I'm gonna give you free instrumentals and a free studio session because I want you to make a demo. You sound really good.
So is this when you were recording for the other artist?
Yeah.
That's when he heard you?
That's when he heard me.
Okay.
And he was just like, yeah, I truly do believe that you can do something with this. And I want you to come here next week, write something, and then we'll work on it. And I'll mix it for you. Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure or anything. Yeah. But it was really fun because when I was in the studio session, it sounds so cliche, but I was recording and I was at the mic and I was like, I don't want to stop recording. It was some kind of spark in me that just ignited, and I was like,
wait, were you able to? So you wrote a song within a week, or you had something from before? How did you?
I don't know how I did it, but I did write a song.
So
I did.
You wrote a song within a week,
mm-hmm.
And then you put the music in it and you composed it.
Yeah, he gave me instrumentals and I just wrote on top of it. I was already writing music, not good music, but I was already writing music before I met him.
Okay.
And I think what I did for that song, what I remember is that I remember playing the instrumental over and over and over again in my car. And I was like, oh, this sounds nice. So I started writing down the lyrics once I got home. And then I was like, hey, I think I have something for the song now. Can we do the session? He's like, yeah, you can come in like tomorrow or something. And I was like, oh, okay. So I came, we recorded the song. That song actually ended up being my first single that I've ever released, and it was called Roses. And Paul Tonks has always been my right hand in this whole thing. Like, he does all my mixing. And yeah, I don't know, like, it's just started from there, and I started doing local shows as Geneva Lei, not just Geneva, and it just started to stick, and here we are.
So and when was this? How long ago was this?
I started music in 2019.
So when you say you started music, like you started recording music, you mean?
Oh, I started recording music in 2018.
Okay, so what's 2019?
2019 is when I released my first single, which was
okay.
Roses.
So, okay.
On Valentine's Day.
Okay, and then so what happened after that?
So I kept releasing music. 6 months into just releasing my first single, I got into the radio with my other song called No Love, and it was produced by YNL, also mixed by Paul Tonks. And yeah, I think after that, it kind of, I said something to myself. I said to God, I said, listen, if I get on this radio for more than 6 to 8 weeks, I will continue to do music. And guess what? Someone texted me literally like maybe like on the 7th week of rotation, was just like, hey, I'm hearing you at C&E right now. What the heck? And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess
so that was a sign for you to continue music?
Yeah, I guess I got to keep going now at this point, you know?
Did you have any like a music education before this, like formal music education?
I mean, I had vocal lessons here and there, but it was never, like, I never knew music theory. Okay. There was like little music theory in my vocal lessons, but it wasn't intensive, like if I were to go to U of T or something.
Yeah.
But that was it. Like I feel like throughout the years my ears started to train itself, basically, like listening to other sounds and keys and notes, I guess. Like I can tell when something's off, but I can't tell you what key it's in or what chord you're playing.
Yeah, no, it has to, well, music is intuitive. Yeah, of course. No matter how much you want to put it in a box and package it as a formal, like, you know, education sort of. But there's a lot to unpack here. So when you worked with your producer, how was the feedback like when you heard your song? Song you wrote within a week.
The first song?
The first song.
He was like, whoa, this is great.
That was it?
Every time we record now, though, like, he's always just like, wow, this is a great song, Jen. You're just getting better. And I'm just like, that really means a lot coming from someone from day one who's seen me grow. But yeah, like he's a really good producer, and the first time we finally mixed it, he's just like, this sounds really good. Like he sent me the WAV file through email, and I was like, this is crazy. Like it's my first single ever, and like I think I'm ready to drop.
So what was the first single about?
So it was called Roses. Mm-hmm. It's not on platforms anymore, but it's on SoundCloud.
Why is it not in platforms anymore?
There was just a point in my career where I felt like I had to do a whole rebrand. Like I felt like the old music that I was making isn't really who I am now, and I really wanted to start fresh.
Did you come up like so did you come about like this whole rebranding thing by yourself, or did someone help you out with this?
It was by myself. Like I talked about it with my friends and stuff, but it wasn't really their decision. It was my decision, and I texted all the producers I worked with, and I said, hey, I feel like I'm in a different space right now, sonically and creatively, and I have to take down the music. And a lot of my producers respected it, and they said, thank you for telling me, and I'm really excited for what you have coming next. But yeah, I just think that, you know, when I first started, I was definitely in a different space. I was really young, and I didn't really understand the music business or what consumers wanted yet. Like I knew what I liked, but I really wanted to like become better, and I felt the rebrand was necessary.
And when was this?
I think it was in 2020. Like it was during the pandemic for sure.
A lot of people rebranded in their own way during the pandemic.
Oh, 100%. That pandemic changed me so much, but for the better though. And I'm really grateful because I think before the pandemic, I was on the go all the time. I was going to so many events, trying to meet people, trying to connect, and like, you know, really like force myself to keep releasing music that I felt like I wasn't even proud of, but I just thought it was necessary to just keep releasing. But then with the pandemic, I'm really grateful for it because it made me slow down. It forced me to slow down and really, you know, look back at like where I was and who do I want to become in the next couple years? I changed, I don't know, like I just changed my mentality, and I was really lucky to meet people in the industry, and like, you know, they spat some game to me and stuff, and I just apply it to what I do now.
Nice.
So
no, that's great. One of the things we do here, like we try to use this podcast as a resource for people who are trying to start the career, like, you know, and then they can use it as a knowledge hub sort of. So when you mentioned that there are a lot of industry people spat some knowledge to you, can you elaborate on that a little bit? So like you mean like your producer, or like people you've been meeting, or everyone in general?
Just everyone in general.
And what are they like? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So I was in the RBC Launchpad Entrepreneurship Program, and it's a great program. It's like a 5-6 month program where managers, producers, other artists like me, or who else?
Anyone
anyone involved in the industry, where you learn the music business and you get to be in front of mentors within the industry. Like I had a really good mentor with my marketing part, and I think she's part of the Universal Marketing, and when I dropped my single Sober, all of the marketing that everyone saw was because of like I talked to her about things, and how should I build my assets, and like how long should I be planning for the next release, and like what should I expect post release, pre-release, and during release. That was one of the mentors that really stuck with me. But then also, like, even people not in the industry, just even people who are starting out, I still learn from those people too. And then also for the people who are like, you know, rising artists in the city, I also learn from them too. Music itself is like community, right? Like, how can I explain this? I don't know.
No, I believe that. I believe that music is a community because it brings people together.
Yeah.
I was thinking, so during the pandemic, let me give you an example. During the pandemic, there was a lot of talks about we're going to do online concerts and all of that.
Yeah.
And then I saw someone like, you know, just sitting in their couch looking at a laptop and going like this, listening to, I'm like, that's so lame. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, but when you're in a concert, you're connected with thousands of other people bumping their head in the same tune as you are. You're just kind of automatically connected with them, right? You know, and because everyone's feeling, if not the exact same emotion, but very similar emotion as you do, right? And there's something like, I don't know, something amazing about that.
Yeah.
So I know what you mean by like, you know, music is a community. So talk about this RBC Launchpad program that you talked about. How did you get into it?
So you have to apply for it a couple months, and then they'll go through their applicants. I think there was 400 to 500 people that applied, and only 30 of us got in. Every year that's what happened. Like they just finished their other roster this year.
So how many people was in your roster?
I think we had 30.
Okay.
Unless people dropped out, but I know that we started with 30.
And how many graduated?
We all graduated. It's just not everyone was able to be there because it's all over Canada. Okay. So people from Montreal or Edmonton, Calgary, whatever. We were all in the program.
And are they all doing music now?
Who's a good example? Jared Daniel's from Calgary. You know him?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Oh my God, he's having a headline show. I'm actually going to that.
In Toronto?
No, in Calgary.
Oh, okay. Nice.
But he's also coming to Toronto for North by Northeast, so super excited about that. But my roster had a lot of Juno nominated people. Like we had Desiree Dawson, we had Zen Soul. Jared Daniel, he just did Road to Junos, so that's really cool. We had managers whose artists were Juno nominated that year while we were in class.
Wow.
Yeah, like we like texted each other, oh my God, congratulations on your Juno nom. So it was really cool because that was the first time I was super close to people who, you know, had Juno nominations.
And knew the music industry, I guess.
Yeah.
So you said the program was six months long?
I think so. That's what I remember. I think we had to start a little bit later because of the pandemic and they were just starting to start it up again. But yeah, it was like around there. We finished in July. We started in March, April, May, June, July, 4 months.
Okay. No, that's great. And how did you find out about the program? Like, how did you know that I have to apply for, like, I'm going to apply for this? Someone told you, or?
I think I saw it on Instagram and I saw the post, and yeah, I think that's how it started. I don't remember, but I just remember seeing it and I was like, let me apply, let me try it out. I wasn't really expecting to get in. And then I was getting my lashes done and I looked at my email and it said, congratulations. I said, what? Like, I don't apply to these things expecting to get in, right? Just, I do it and like whatever happens, happens. And I'm grateful for whatever the outcome is.
No, but, you know, I think, I don't know, maybe I'm like, obviously we just met, but I feel like you underestimate yourself. Like, you know, you went to the studio, you didn't know what was going to happen. And then it kind of opened the door for you. And then the same thing with the radio. You're like, oh, they're playing the radio if it goes until 7. And it did. And then you applied to this program. So it seems like, you know, you're underestimating yourself. Is that, am I right? Or
why are you calling me out right now?
This is a therapy session, by the way.
I feel like I do that. But maybe it's just like my imposter syndrome that does.
You know, everyone's got that. Oh, come on. I'm a photographer. I've been a photographer for a long time.
Yeah, you're great.
Thank you.
I looked at your work and I was like, wow, that's great.
Thank you. No. And I'm still like, and I'm like, this is like, you know, I see my work and I'm like, oh my God, this is not that good. Like,
we're our biggest critics. I think that's the thing.
I think so, yeah.
Especially when we're really passionate. Like, I think that's the downfall of being super talented and creative.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if I'm super talented, but I do that all the time. I question myself. I think it has a lot to do with, let me get your opinion on this. Like a lot to do with when I was growing up, you know, art was not necessarily a thing that you do professionally. You know, photography is not something you do professionally. Like, and especially my parents, immigrants in Canada, they're like, I do move to this country so you can become a photographer, you know? And probably that one, like, you know, you hear this thing growing up, you know, and it kind of embeds in you. And so and no matter how good you are, you're not good enough. Like, you know,
is that what it is?
Maybe. Fuck. I mean, that's definitely a factor probably. So did you have this problem? Like, were your parents okay with pursuing music? You pursuing music?
Okay. So to make them stop like being hard on me for doing music, I went to nursing school. So I'm a nurse.
I think I was going to say that's one of my things there. So you're a nurse.
I am a nurse, yeah.
Wow, like a full-blown nurse.
Yeah, full-time nurse.
So you went to school for a long time.
I only went to school for 2 years. I'm an RPN.
Okay.
But I am going back to school.
For what? Nursing?
For cosmetic nursing, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm really excited to do that.
But you work as a nurse right now.
Yeah, I am.
Wow.
Full-time.
Well, thanks for your service.
Thank
First
you.
of all. So in the pandemic, you were busy?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I don't know. I think it makes me more patient, like my nursing job, like with the whole music thing and like being a nurse, it makes me really patient. Like, I don't know. I'm grateful for both because nursing does support the music part.
Because it is expensive.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, music is really expensive. So I'm really grateful that I do have like resources that I can provide for myself. But yeah, it's been a long journey being a nurse full-time and artist full-time.
Pure hustler. So that's what kind of shut your parents up when you told them you're gonna go to
as soon as I graduated, got my license, you know, I sat them down during Christmas dinner and I said, so I'm gonna do music professionally, but yeah, just letting you guys know. I mean, I graduated now. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, now
like,
you graduated, you can. Yeah, I think it comes from because they want to make sure that we're doing okay, right? Like,
yeah.
At least socially, financially. So tell us about this program a little bit. I think you mentioned a little bit, just like briefly. What does it entail? Like, what did they make you do?
So it was online. 30 of us would get on a Zoom, and we would have different topics that were led by mentors within the industry. So we had a creative direction one, we had a marketing one, we had a royalties one. There's like a bunch of them, but we had maybe 7 to 10 classes. I don't really remember. It was like last year.
So they look at both art and the business side as well?
Yeah. They provided us with a lot of opportunities when it came to being mentored one-on-one with our mentors. So we were given credits, and we could use those credits towards talking one-on-one with a specific mentor we wanted to talk to. There's 2 mentors that I really wanted to talk to. It was my marketing one and my creative direction one. But yeah, I learned a lot. It's a great program. I recommended it to all my friends. I would recommend any upcoming artist, even if you're not upcoming, like being able to have knowledge within the music industry, that's your superpower.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
Having that leverage, not being able to like get walked over within the music industry is really important, especially as a girl. Like, you know, that's why I was really excited to be in the program, because Knowledge is key.
So why do you say, especially as a girl, do you think like it's different for, like, obviously it is different, like probably it is different
100%.
because in a lot of industries it is, but like tell us more about that. Like what?
I
is
feel
it
like
different?
being a woman in the industry, a lot of people can mistaken you for not knowing things and like, you know, maybe being able to be taken advantage of. Also, there's a lot of different expectations as a woman in the industry. You have to look a specific way all the time, but a guy can go out on a Coachella stage with a plaid t-shirt and everyone be like, oh my God, but like we have to have full beat face, perfect hair, the right outfit, perfect body. If you're not wearing the right shoes, what are you wearing? You know, I feel like women are more critiqued in the industry. 100%. We've seen it before.
Yeah, no, I can believe that. Yeah, I see like in the concerts, like rappers would go up on stage like just wearing nothing, like just like a t-shirt, like a
jeans
like a
and a
beater,
belt,
like jeans and a
and
belt.
maybe Nikes.
Yeah.
That's it.
I saw Wiz Khalifa and he had only like pants on. That's it. He had nothing on.
You see what I mean? If we did that, it would be a whole uproar.
Yeah. So besides the expectation of how you look, what else is there disadvantage for a woman, or working against women, I guess?
It's a male dominant industry. I feel like a lot of industries are male dominant. I don't know. Since it's so dominant, it's kind of hard to maneuver sometimes, I guess. I don't know. I've never, how can I say? I don't know. I just feel like being a woman is definitely harder. Just the expectations from an audience. Yeah.
And so how like tell us about your last performance. Where was that?
What was my last performance? Oh, Soho.
Oh, nice.
Soho House. Yeah, it was really fun.
Was that part of your the new single that you dropped? Or was it before that?
It was before that, but we used that opportunity to promote that single. Yeah, it was really fun. It was sponsored by Patron. It was really cool just being able to be in a room like that. I've been wanting to perform at Soho, so it was really cool to have the opportunity.
Was there a lot of tequila going around?
Oh my God, yes. I wasn't able to drink it though.
Why?
I drove.
Oh, you should have taken an Uber.
No, but I couldn't. I had to leave right away. Like I couldn't even stay and drink.
Okay, I'm just letting know, Patron, if you ever want to sponsor me, I'm gonna drink the hell out of your tequila. All right.
I got Patron certified though. I have a pin.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. They said, "Oh, here since you can't drink."
Nice.
But it was really fun.
Was it just you? Was there somebody, other people performing?
Oh, actually, it was the other artist my manager manages, Tristan. He's so fucking talented. Like we have a song coming out the next month. It's called Forbidden Fruit. We performed it there. He's super talented. He is like definitely a hidden gem in Toronto. But yeah, the music that he's gonna be coming out with is really good. And I was actually a fan of him in 2019 when I first started music. So it was a full circle moment when I found out that my manager was managing him already. And I was like, what the heck? Like I feel like there's a lot of things that have happened in my career that reminds me that this is what I'm supposed to do, and that was one of them.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Everything. It's almost everything.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your music. Like, what's your inspiration behind your music?
As in, like, people or just when I write?
Like, it could be any. Like, when you write, when you compose, when you're singing, what are you thinking of? What helps you? What adds value to you?
Getting my heart broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm kind of tired of it.
Trying to keep it positive here.
I don't want to have negative muses anymore. I'm over it. But
I guess those are painful lessons, you would call it.
Yeah, lessons and blessings. Yes, 100%. Like I wrote "Tell Me." So funny. I was having this conversation with Tristan. Actually, I was like, "Yeah, the song is about," and he was like, "Well, shout out to him. He made a good song." And I was like, You're right. Like all my music, unfortunately, is about like a heartbreak. And
how many times did you have your heart broken?
It's too much to count.
Really? You look so young. How can you have so many like deep relationships?
I don't know. I feel like not a lot of my heart was broken several times by the same people. There you go. And I'm learning. I'm really learning slowly, but I'm learning. You know, yes, I am.
So next time next time you're trying to release an album, you just shout out to this guy. I'm like, hey, can you come back and get my heart broken again? So I can. Is that what you're gonna do?
I can't do it. I can't do it. I have you can't go back to where you got sick in the first place, you know? You can't do that.
So what's okay, so heartbroken, like that's your inspiration. What else?
Just my life in general, you know. What's a good example? Like I wrote a song that actually wasn't about heartbreak. It was just about what I was going through. It's called Autopilot. It's going to be on my project. It's about how I felt like I was getting lost and being a musician full time and a nurse full time. And I was scared that I was going to lose myself within all of that. It's a really pretty song. I'm really excited for the world to hear it. I performed it a couple of times, so if you guys want to hear it, you should come to my next show, which is North by Northeast, June 16th.
Oh, congrats. North by Northeast. That's not a small gig. But I'm definitely coming. I don't know about these guys.
I will send you the invitation and everything.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely come. So I want to talk about your writing process a little bit. You talked about you were in a I guess, I don't know if I'm like vulnerable place because you were like, you know, working full time, because nurses have crazy hours.
Yeah.
How do you you know, do nursing and do music at the same time? And yeah, how do you manage that?
I feel like you'll always make time for what you want. Right. And like, I always find time to make sure that music is also a priority. Right. And I make sure that I still have time to be normal. It's just time management, I guess. That was the one thing nursing taught me, is time management.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you love something and you're very passionate about it, there are times where I felt like I couldn't do it, but I'm really grateful for my passion and for my aspirations, because that was the thing that kept me afloat. And then also for my friends and my family, like they always reminded me who I am and like why I'm doing this, and that if I stop, I'm going to be very mad at myself.
Yeah.
I would be so mad at myself if I stopped. During the times that I was doubting myself, I had to call my manager and I'm crying and I'm like, yo, I can't do this. This is too much. And then he's just like, go take your break. Go take a day off or something. And then you're going to come back and tell me that you couldn't have quit. And he's right, you know, and I just know that maybe 10 years down the road, if I were to quit right now, I would be mad at myself because I could have been like, you could have been in a different position in your life 10 years ago if you didn't stop. And also, if I were to have kids, I don't want my kids to think that their mom was a quitter. You know what I mean? So that was also my motivation.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. No, that's great that you're realizing that now, because a lot of people don't understand the power of their actions and choices. You know, they just think, oh, that's how the life is supposed to be. But so that's great. And when you mentioned that you wrote that song, did you have any help from the RBC Launchpad program or somebody else on how to write songs, or is it like self-taught mostly?
No. So the RBC program is more just business oriented.
Okay.
Like learning like the marketing and like the creative part. No. But we did have songwriting sessions. A blessing that I had from that program was the friends that I ended up making. I have really talented friends from that program, like Danny, Kiana. We had Jared Daniels and Soul Desiree. Like all of them are super talented, and we had the opportunities to write music together. And Lou, shout out to Lou. How can I forget Lou? So if he sees this, but yeah, I think I learned a lot from everyone in that program, other than my mentors, because everyone has different perspectives in the music business and like how they came up. I think that was the really special thing about my class, was that we all understood that we experience music differently, and we're from different genres. You know, I had friends who were in pop and like indie, and like it was just really cool being able to connect with people not in my genre, and just like learning from them and how they learned from their mistakes. And like we had group chats just talking about, hey, how did you do this? And I know that I can text them or like call them and ask them questions about things.
Having that kind of resource.
Yeah, that I'm so grateful for them. Like I tell them all the time, I'm so grateful to have met you.
Let's talk about some of your challenges.
Oh, all right.
This is a therapy session.
We'll just dig into it right now, right? Like
what? I'm sure there has been times where you questioned, like, if you're doing the right thing. Maybe not. You look very confident, but
today. This is different every day.
All right. So yeah, let's talk about some of your challenges that you've encountered since you started 2018-19.
Within myself?
Or just the music, or like, were there times when you're like, okay, maybe this is not for me, and then, or were there times where you got kind of shut down?
A great example, actually, the turning point of why I became Geneva Lei, like I solidified it. This is why the pandemic was also really important, because of this moment. You guys know Love Renaissance?
Love Renaissance.
Yeah. It's the label that has Summer Walker, Black.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like pretty big in Atlanta. They're like very R&B based, like Kendrick Lamar. No, wait, Isaiah Rashad is signed to them. The head of A&R, Justice, he was doing live talent shows, show your music, and like, so I blindly requested to join the live. I didn't think I was gonna get picked because there was like thousands of people in there. And
how did you blindly, like through social media?
Social media, like on live, like it was open for anyone to join. So I just pressed request to join. Picks me. I did not think, this is where the underestimating comes from. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he picks me, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm not ready. What
are you supposed to do when he picks you?
Play your music or sing.
Oh, okay.
So I play my music was not good. I already knew my music was not good, and I think that was definitely a reality check. I mean, like, I was really confident about who I was then, but I'm pretty sure I was not proud of like the music I was making. I think I was just making music to make music. That's how.
When was this?
2020, when the pandemic just started.
How do you know it wasn't, like, you're saying that your music wasn't good at the time?
I don't think I was proud of it. Like, I like, it was nice to listen to, but I was not proud of it. Like, not how I am now. I'm so passionate about my music right now, and I'm really proud of the stories I can write, and how connected I am to my emotions and my music now. But before, I felt like I was very disconnected to my sound. So I played it, and I basically got booed off the live by his audience and by him, but he said, you know what, but like, at least you're nice. Like, I thank you for being nice and understanding, for taking criticism. And I was like, yeah. And then I got kicked off, whatever. I just remember being like, fuck, is this supposed to be, like, am I supposed to be doing this? Like, I don't know. So I talked to my friend, and they're like, he was reading me the comments, and it said, well, at least she's pretty. And I was like, I don't want to just be pretty. I want to make good music. I want to sound good. So I think that was the start of my villain origin. After that, I definitely was like, I'm not going through that shit again. Absolutely not. So I think maybe a couple like months after, I ended up writing Problematic. Beautiful single. Got it mixed by Paul Tonks. Got some guitar riffs from Paul Tonks off of that. Like, I produced that with Paul, and then we released it. But before we released it, I made sure that people within the industry heard it, because I have like a couple, like, Clubhouse was a thing at that time, right? Yeah. And I met a lot of people off of Clubhouse within the industry who are now my really good friends. So I just, sent over the song, and they're just like, this shit is fire. And I was like, really? And they're just like, no, like, this is really good, Jen. Like, you sound so cool, and like, the song is really powerful and empowering. And I'm like, perfect. So actually, that was the song that I got my first Spotify editorial playlist on. I was on Fresh Finds R&B. Nice. And then R&B Radar found me. And then people from R&B Radar, started following me. And then I think that was when I was like, I could do this. Maybe I'm out of my rut now. And then after that, I just, became more confident in my music. And I started to trust myself a little bit more with my ear. And yeah.
No, that's great. Because a lot of people, if they had went through that experience, they probably would have quit.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. 100%. I want to hear more about how you kind of handled that. Did you cry?
I cried 100%.
Yeah.
I feel like, I had to really, it was a reality check. I was in this little bubble being like, yeah, I was on the radio, and like, I got this and that and that. But then, when that happened, I was like, what just happened? And I remember sitting in my bed, looking at my ceiling, and I was like, am I supposed to do this? Like, why am I going through this now?
You know what? Think about it, though. Like, you said you started around 2019, 18, like, properly. So it's only been a year or 2 years max.
Exactly.
When this is happening.
Exactly.
I mean, you're talented. There's no doubt in it. But
you.
You're not supposed to be, like, amazing it every time you go out there, right? Especially when you're just 2 years into it.
Yeah.
Right? So that thing is normal. However, I do understand if somebody like, no one has told me that, like, you suck when I'm talking about my art in general, but like, when someone criticizes me, not like in that way, it still hurts because it 100%. Just comes from such a emotional place.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you don't want to be told, like, especially when you put your heart and soul to something, you don't want someone to tell you, you suck. However, it's up to you on how you take that information, because you could take it with a grain of salt and you can apply it to how you can be better the next time, or you can let it defeat you and then you quit, and then you're gonna look like a quitter. That's the one thing I don't want to be, is a quitter. So I think in that moment I slept it off and I went, you got to be better. You got to be Geneva motherfucking Lei. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So where does that come from?
I genuinely think it's like my passion. Like, I feel like that was the thing that really held me together in that moment. Because I just know that I just know myself that I want to finish what I've started, and I was 2 years in. I was on the radio. Like, great. So what's next, Jen? How are you going to release a better song? What are you going to do? Who are you going to talk to? So yeah, I just like started to just tap in more with myself and started to be more honest with myself, and, really trust myself in my process. And, I don't know, like, I'm just grateful to have like such a strong love for music and just being super fucking passionate about it, and making sure that, I'm training myself every single day. Like, I try to songwrite every single day. Even on my breaks when I'm at work, I will be songwriting something.
Man, that's like what Eminem used to do. I remember he was talking about like working you saw that?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's amazing. No, that's great.
Yeah.
I hear this so many times, Geneva. Like, people would start something like within a month or 2 months. Like, for example, like a friend of mine started playing guitar.
Yeah.
Right. And then after like 2-3 months, he's like, I suck. I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to. It's been only 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he quit because he thought he was going to be like, I don't know, like, some crazy guitar player.
Guitar's hard.
He's going to be Slash within 3 months.
Yeah,
and it didn't work out. And then like, but it's not, it just, that's an example. A lot of people start a lot of things.
Yeah.
And then within a couple of months, they just, it's hard. And I'm glad you have that fighting spirit. And
yeah. There's a lot of people I started music with that are no longer making music now. And like, obviously they give me my flowers and stuff, but it was kind of sad to see them just like, just let it wither. I just know that they would have been like great, but sometimes music isn't for everybody, honestly. If you're gonna chase music, you're crazy. I've heard so many people say that, because it is something that a lot of people want, and only a small portion of us will make it. But I'm not really doing it to be like an A-lister. I'm doing it to be heard. So,
and it sounds like it's sort of like I don't want to put words in your mouth. It sounds like a therapy for you, because you mentioned that you were going through that tough time.
Yeah.
And then you wrote the song.
Yeah.
That must have, letting it out like that, it must have felt good.
Oh, 100%, because I'm not really good at talking about my emotions. Like, even now speaking is like making me a little nervous, but I'm really grateful to have music, because I'm able to be honest, and like, no one can tell me what not to say, because what are you going to do? Tell me not to write a song? You're not going to do that. So you should just do it just for that, I do it for therapy. 100%. I definitely do it for that. And also just like, being able to share my experience. I know I'm not the only person that goes through what I go through. Mm-hmm. So it's cool to be able to bring people together just through music. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So let's talk about what's your take on about the city of Toronto? Like, a lot of people, musicians. Yeah. It sounds like there's a lot of support, and there are a lot of programs to help up and coming artists. But again, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Mm-hmm. Like, what has been your experience? Throughout the years, I realized that there are so many resources within Canada. We're really lucky to have bursaries and grants and like programs like the Remix Project or the RBC entrepreneurship programs, or any other programs that are helping youth become, who they want to be. America doesn't have that. Like, I have a lot of American friends, like, they just give you free money like that. And I'm like, well, you have to earn it. But yeah, basically, we're allowed to apply it to our career. Like SoCan has houses all over North America. You can go book it, and it's free housing. But you have to book in advance, though. Don't get too excited. But yeah, we have stuff like that. And I felt nothing but support within the city. But I know that there's some people who, it's really hard to like become friends with them and connect with them. But it's just how you see the city, right? It just depends on how you decide to be in the city. Like, you want to be the change in the city. You should be the one who's supporting, and you should like show love. It's not dick riding, It's really not. Like, I will go and post my friends 1,000 times because I'm so proud of them. And I feel like everyone should be like that. Show the love.
Absolutely.
Give people flowers while they're still here, And like, if just because you feel like someone's one step ahead of you does not mean that you're not going to be in that step either. I don't see people as competition within Toronto. I see people as inspirations. Like, for example, my girl Benita, she is like such a big inspiration to me because we started music around the same time, and she's already like doing shows and like opening up for like headliners and everything. And like, I just seen her perform at the Live Nation Wants to Watch performance, and I was like, this is so crazy. I just remember you starting and now you're here and people are like really paying attention to you. And I just know in the next few years you're not going to know me, but it's fine.
You're genuinely happy to see that, right?
I'm so happy to see all of my friends win. And yeah, like I was saying, it just depends on how you decide to be. Are you going to be a good person throughout this whole thing? And like, the love you bring out will always come back. And I feel like that's what's happening right now. Everything that I put out in the universe has been coming back to me lately. And I'm so grateful that I get the support that I put out.
That is amazing. I loved a lot of things you said there. That is a great response, by the way, Geneva. Like,
Thank you.
When you said like you see the city as the way you are, I think that's true, and that's true in some aspect, like of life too. Like if you're a negative person, everything in your life is gonna be negative. Like if you're a positive person, exactly. So that's great. I love what you said about give people flower while you can. Is that your original, or did you steal that from somewhere?
What? You haven't heard that before? People have said that, give the flowers while they still
I've
can.
never heard that before. Give people flower while you still can.
Oh, we haven't?
I never heard that. No.
Oh, a lot of people.
I've heard stop and smell the roses.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing too. But
That's a thing too.
I don't know who says it, but a lot of like artists that I listen to, they probably say that. I don't know. I've seen it before, but yeah, I just apply it to my career. And
yeah, no, that's great. I that's why I think you're having such a positive response and feedback to your music. So there are a few other things I want to ask you.
Let's go.
All right. As I said, this is a therapy session. So if you were to go back 5 years and change something, what would that be?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Why? I know that everything that I'm gonna start crying. I was thinking about this the other day.
You can cry.
No, not the therapy session. I don't like crying. I don't like crying. But
it's not like So in all jokes aside, it's not. I know I'd make fun of it seeing a therapy session, but I like to have that connection with other people.
Yeah.
As a human being.
You make it really easy.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, but so if you want to cry, you can go ahead and cry.
Okay. Ruining my makeup on camera. No. I wouldn't change anything at all. I think that everything that has happened so far is supposed to happen, and like, I'm in no rush to like get to where I want to be. Obviously there's like an urge to, but it's no rush, 100%. Because I know that it's so corny when people say, yeah, enjoy the journey, not the destination.
I've heard that.
It's true though. Like, it really is true. Like, I've made such good friends within the music business, and like a lot of the people that I make music with aren't just friends and aren't just music partners. They're definitely like family. I wouldn't change anything. I believe that I'm the artist that I am today because of everything that I've gone through.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, you've come so far from someone who's had to start from ground up. Like, I was a girl in nursing school. I didn't know anyone from the industry. I didn't know how to get a manager. I didn't know how to release songs properly. I had no connections, but it only came from me putting myself out there and really trusting my personality. And I know that being able to create genuine connections is a thing that I feel like has made my career the way it is.
Amen to that.
I just feel like being a good person is just so important. And I know that a lot of people rely on vibes when it comes to working with each other, right? And when I'm in a session, I make sure that everyone feels welcomed, and like we can build something past the music, because you can tell when something is just business and when something is definitely made out of purely love. A lot of the music that I make is with really close friends, and you can hear the difference 100% from the sessions that I do just because they ask me to do a session with them, and the sessions that I do with friends. Like, for example, with Tristan and me, Forbidden Fruit, that song is fucking, I'll show you after we get off camera.
Actually, yeah, I want to hear that.
Yeah, I'll show you after.
Sounds
it's fucking crazy. Someone said to us, it sounds American, and I was like, oh, that's actually
what does that mean? It sounds American.
I don't know what it is, but we know what it means.
Like it's a fire. Like it's
amazing. Like it's just fucking fire. Yeah. Like we had so many people like, yo, what is the sound dropping? We're like, don't ask me, ask Tristan, because that's his song. I'm just featuring on it. But we wrote it together in the same room with our producer Memic, also produced by Midas. And we were just like spitting like something, like we were just like, oh, this is so good, like it's so catchy, and it's such a I can't wait to show you. Like it's just great. I'm so,
when is it coming out?
Excited. Like he said next month or in June. Yeah, so I'm just really excited to have dropped something with something that we made out of like purely friendship. But yeah, like you can definitely tell the difference. I'm excited to show you that song.
No, I'm excited to like listen to it after the podcast. Yeah. What are some of your who are some of your inspirations, favorite artists? Let's talk about that.
Kehlani, Jhene Aiko, Jasmine Sullivan, Summer Walker. Jasmine Sullivan was probably the first person that I was introduced to, like I think in the R&B scene. And then it was Kehlani. So Jasmine Sullivan, I was just obsessed with her. How do you sing like that? You're not real. You're actually not real. Even now, like I just feel like she just aged like wine. Like she's so great. She's not human. She's definitely the LeBron James of fucking R&B, 100%. Like not real. Like she's definitely from a different planet. And then I heard Kehlani. I think the first song that I heard was The Way, the one with the Chance Rapper. I was like, who is this? And I just became like a very big super fan. Yeah, I think she's my inspiration because she's just super raw, super honest in her music. And that's how I try to be like in my music, and just be, as honest and just as like unapologetic in all my music. And then also with Jhene Aiko, she says she says crazy shit, but she makes it sound so pretty. And she's also one of my writing inspirations as well. Also Jessie Reyes just recently started to,
and she's from Toronto.
Yeah, she's fucking cool. Watched her in concert, and I was, whoa. Her latest album, Yessie, it's amazing. I sing that with my whole heart. Got me through some shit. 100%.
So there's one thing I want to ask you, but before that, Jhene Aiko, have you seen? Do you see this program on Netflix called Hustle and Flow?
Yes.
Did you see her collaboration with what's his name? The guy who was second place.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
I forgot his name too.
Yeah, but you know who
I remember Jhene Aiko. Yeah.
Oh my god, that performance was just fire. Like every time I see it, I get goosebumps.
No, she put Cardi B in a trance.
Like, yeah, I like Cardi B and then T.I. And they were just like, I could see them like in the audience. They were just like all like.
Yeah, she has like a crazy frequency in her voice. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but it just makes you feel so calm. And like, that's what I'm saying. Like she says some crazy nasty shit, and like, you don't even realize she's saying it because she says it so pretty. It's
how you deliver it.
Yeah, she's definitely the queen of delivery. I agree with that.
All right. I want to ask you this question I ask all musicians. Do you find it hard to kind of reconcile between because you talked about being raw and like being honest about your music, but do you find it hard to reconcile with what the audience and the industry expectations are from you, and what could be considered a hit versus what you want to put out? Do you find like, okay, this is what I really like, I'm gonna put this out, but maybe this won't be a hit, or like, this won't be accepted, because there's certain type of music that are like, like very accepted, and it's going to be a sort of like a hit. Do you ever have is that a challenge for you, or do you ever think about that?
I feel like sometimes I am hard on myself, as in like, is this going to be the next hit? No. but then also like my goal actually is just to make music that I like, right? Like as musicians, I feel like it's really important to tap into our own emotions and stuff, and people will come, you know, and your fans will come and find you. And I feel like we should stop being so hard on ourselves and, you know, expect to have the next big hit. It's not required, you know. And there's music that I do not like that my manager loves, that the audience loves, and they'll be like, why, that song is so good. I'm like, no, I don't like it. But you never know, right? Music is so subjective. Like what right. considers a hit, you know what I mean?
It's art. Like,
yeah, like a hit is just if a lot of people like it, but
there's a lot of songs that are hit and I don't like it.
Exactly, right? It's subjective. Music is subjective, and like you have your own audience and your audience will find you. And I feel like we should stop, like musicians should just stop putting so much pressures on themselves. Like I have to tell myself that. But yeah, like make the music you want. Make the music that you like. Fuck it. Why not? This is your career. This is your art. This is what you get to do. Yeah, I try to remind myself that every day though, but I'm saying this all, but sometimes I don't take my own advice. So hopefully you take mine.
Yeah, no, it's hard to be vulnerable because you have to be vulnerable. It comes from a vulnerable place when you're playing music. So this is great. Thank you for sharing all that information with us. Last question. What makes you happy in life?
What makes me happy in life?
Besides music.
Dang, I was gonna say music is all that I am. Like that's the only answer I have, really.
Okay.
I mean, like obviously my family and friends. Yeah, like it's already a given. But
okay, now, well, why?
What, the music or
both? Why music and why family and friends?
Well, family and friends keep me grounded. They remind me of who I am because, like, with the whole music thing, especially since I do it at the rate that I'm doing it, I feel like it's easy to get lost with like the connections that you make and like the events that you go to and the shows that you do. Like it's easy to get lost in the sauce type thing. But having my friends and my family, like they always remind me like who I am and like, you know, that I'm actually just a regular person. I can slow down sometimes.
Talented regular person.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, like being able to just like slow down and just like, you know, experience real life. That's why I'm grateful for them. But like music also, like it's all that I am. Music is the only thing that makes me feel myself. It's the only thing that I understand to the T and like as to why something makes me feel good. I don't know, like music is just, it's definitely my anchor in life, 100%. I feel like if I didn't have it, I definitely would be lost. That's why I truly do feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, music, it just makes me so fucking emotional. Like music is
it does. I think everyone to a certain extent.
Yeah, 100%. I think music, it just brings people together and like it helped me find myself. I guess we could say that. It helped me find myself and like start being honest with myself about things. Being able to open up with myself more because I felt like I also was not supporting myself through my emotional times. So being able to have music, I felt like I was finally starting to do that. I was really hard on myself during my emotional times. So I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's the power of art. When I take pictures and when I'm editing, because I also do some creative art, mm-hmm. It is an outlet. Like, you know, mm-hmm. It's just a lot of people don't realize that and try to find, because there's a lot of times when I try to find the definition of what is art. And I feel like that's part of it. It could be an elaborate definition, but that's definitely a part of it. Like It helps you find yourself, letting your emotions out. Mm-hmm. But that was great. Thank you so much. When is your performance again? Just so the audience knows.
Which camera do I look at? June 16th. June 16th, y'all. You guys better be there.
Where's the location?
It hasn't been confirmed yet, so we're just waiting on that, and then I'll let you guys all know.
Yeah, we'll put it on our link when you let us know.
Yes, I'm really excited. I'm super excited because me and my band.
Who's in your band?
We have my guitarist DJ. He's been like my guitarist since 2021. Mm-hmm. He's been like at every show. And then my drummer Johnny. My pianist Matthew, my bass guitarist Lamar, and then my sax player Walter. He's fucking great.
Oh, wow. You got like what's this, 5 Ps?
What can I say? I make it happen.
Nice. Yeah, no, I want to see that performance now.
Oh, it's great. We just finished our first rehearsal. I get so excited to be at rehearsals every single time because I get to work with such amazing musicians, and like they just bring my vision in my head come to life. I had a specific goal as to how I wanted my set to be set up, and they did it. And I'm just so excited because it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, and after this show coming up, I guess whenever you perform with your band? Is that kind of...
Yes. Unless I'm not able to perform with a band. Like if they said you can only bring like an accompanist, then I will bring my band. Mm-hmm. But majority of the time I do try to bring my band. Just because when I put on a show, I don't want to just sing. I want to perform. And I want to give people an experience and like give people like a chance to experience Geneva Lei. Because I want to be memorable, you know, and I want people to be like, who was that girl with that whole 5-piece band, you know? So yeah.
Oh, trust me, I know. I have a live performance. Like I've seen like Jay-Z's concert when he's just like, you know, with him, just him, and then there's like music in the background. And I've seen his concert with him and the live band. Dude, the live band one was like insanely, like infinitely more better than like, you know, just the music in the background.
Exactly.
So.
It's just providing experience, bringing people to a different world.
Yeah,
is like, who was it? Tiana Taylor. I watched her. Oh, wow. I'm pretty sure that I perform the way I do because of her. I watched her on her goodbye tour. Or is it the farewell tour? I don't know. But she's still going.
Wait, she's not making music anymore?
No, she quit.
She quit?
Yeah, she made like
This is Tiana Taylor, like the Rose in Harlem?
Yeah, Tiana Taylor.
No, she's not making music anymore?
No.
Why?
I think she's
so young.
I think she felt underappreciated within the industry.
Oh.
Which I truly believe. I do think that like she didn't have enough support, and she's so talented.
She's so good. Yeah.
I watched her perform. I try not to have my phone out because I was engulfed in her show, and I was like, oh my goodness, like who is this? I bought merch that night, and I was like, yeah, Miss TT, I love you. Oh my God, it was such a blessing to watch her, and I know that I apply a lot of her mannerisms into my show now. I can't dance, but her personality and like how captivated she was, it was amazing. So
I can't believe she's not making music anymore. That
I know,
sucks.
it makes me really sad. She's so talented. That EP, oh my God.
You're talking about the
KTS KSTE, that one, the Rose in Harlem one. Yeah. But that was such a beautiful piece. Kanye,
I think she was
wicked.
also, actually, we were just talking about Rhythm and Flow. I just remembered she was probably also in it, wasn't she? Because they were doing a collaboration, like one of the episodes, and she was in it, I think, with somebody.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember who was in it. Like, I just remember Jhene Aiko.
Yeah, Jhene Aiko. She probably stole the show. That's why.
Yeah, you know, Jhene Aiko definitely was like a cherry on top for that show.
And if you were to, if you had a choice to perform with anyone in this world, who would it be?
Kehlani.
Oh, nice.
Kehlani. Yeah, 100%. If I were to ever get a Kehlani feature, I don't give a. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. You can swear.
I don't care if I have a Grammy, a Juno, anything. I don't care about that. I have Kehlani. You can't tell me shit. Yeah. You cannot tell me. So once I get that Kehlani feature, yeah, sorry. Everyone who knew me before doesn't know me now. Everyone who, not that way. I mean, like the people who doubted me, yeah, you guys don't know me anymore. That's how I feel.
No, love your passion. Seriously, this song is keep it up. Never lose that, because you need that as an artist. Yeah. You probably know this better than me.
Oh, 100%. Like definitely my passion is like I said, it keeps me level-headed.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Geneva.
Thank you.
All right. We'll end the conversation now.
Thank you.